Xander has well, we know from working with him at Valera that he's very passionate about old vineyards, and he was the reason that Valera joined the Old Vine project in 2018. But, in France, all our vineyards are pretty much old. I mean, Raphael, what's the average age of our vines in that vineyard? 40 years?
My age, so it's very young.
Young, okay.
No, the average age is about 45 for our vineyards.
45, yeah.
So, in South Africa, to qualify for an old vine is 35 years. So, in France, we've got some seriously old vineyard blocks. Xander, can you just tell us more about why you like working for old vines, what you feel they add?
Okay. In South Africa, it's not a common thing to actually make wine from old vines. Like the Old Vine project, when that was started, about only 3.4% of vineyards in South Africa is classified as old vine, which is 35 years and older. And where in France, average age of our vineyards are about 45 years. And the Roussillon region actually has some of the oldest vineyards in France itself as well. So that makes that whole area very unique. And as Raphael mentioned before, if you taste through these wines, you can see how the acidity and the flavor profile and the concentration is just there naturally. And that's what you get with these older vineyards. The wine you make from them tends to be more concentrated and it's more in balance. And the aging potential of it is just so much better because they already have all this age that's gone into it, and you have to do minimal to it in the cellar. You don't have to use a lot of wood. If you do use any wood, you look more to use neutral vessels or older barrels as you get everything out of the vineyards itself. So as a winemaker, it makes your life a little bit easier, but you have to do more work in the vineyard, and that's where the wine gets made. And the end product is you have something that's beautiful, it's concentrated, it's in balance, minimal intervention you have to do, and the aging potential is just so much better compared to younger vines. That's how I feel personally about it, and that's what draws me to making wines out of old vines and trying to preserve these old vineyards that we have now.
The only problem is the yield goes down, so the price needs to go up.
We're in South Africa as well. We're one of the first wine countries to actually have a certified sticker to pay tribute to these old vineyards. And with that sticker that you have on these wines made from these old blocks, actually add a percentage of the value to these wines, and that gets perceived by the public. They also see it in that perspective as well. And the future now, they're looking to expand the old vine seal to the rest of the world. Sort of that's the next step forward going with the Old Vine project itself.
Okay, good. For those of you that don't know, Xander's father's an extreme adventurer. So he would feel nothing for probably abseiling down that cliff on the left there, or running up it or around it or across it. So Xander, there's some great hikes in that area. Can you just tell us a little bit, what is this gorge about? Have you been to Gorge Gallamos? And
yeah, I've been there. Yeah, beautiful hiking. There's also a big ploufing happening in the Roussillon area. It's one of the famous spots, or one of the big attractions for the area as well, to go do ploufing in between all these gorges and valleys. Lovely hiking trips, a lot of trail runs around the area as well, where you can actually pass through all these old vineyards and you can look at all these different goblet setups and all these old vines.